Look at him. He's got a little sweater. Yo, what's up everybody? It's JayDennis back with another live video. As you could tell, I shaved my head once again. I've done this twice during the pandemic because I'm not going to go see a barber because I'm trying to do my part to end this GD thing. It's real. And they agree with me. Anyway, this is just a quick update video. You probably noticed in the last month. Jesus. You guys want to be on video? Hercules, stop. Finish recording a video. Anyway, you probably noticed in the past 2 months I put out a heap of ranked and reviewed videos on my ranked and reviewed series. You know, I did Chimera and Flames, Eminem, Taylor Swift, all these discographies, Deftones, Amir, and I got quite a bit still on the horizon. I've already basically finished Black Dahlia Murder, and again, this is like a whole lot of different metal genres. I know not everybody's going to want to watch every single one, but if either of these bands you love, of course you're going to want to watch the video. Black Dahlia Murder, I'm a couple albums into Machine Head. They got, I think both Black Dahlia Murder and Machine Head have 9 albums each. So I've been working on those, been really enjoying listening to those bands again. But with Seven Dust recently putting out an album, Blood and Stone, which is really good album. 12 albums in, they're still putting out great music. They've never put out a bad album, no. I love bands that are like that consistently good. So with Seven Dust having recently put out a new album, that's the one I'm going to work on next. And generally I only do live videos like these if I have more of the physical copies of albums. Otherwise, I'm more going to do like audio ones where I just do like a slideshow of all the albums, and then I, on Microsoft Paint, make a collage of their whole discography. But anyway, you might not see one for a while aside from Seven Dust. I am working on them, but I'm not going through and listening and re-listening to the albums as quickly because we're like 9 days away from the 2020 election, and frankly, I've been really plugged into that. This video is not going to talk about my views or anything. If you want to go listen to those, listen to my podcast on the podcast channel. I do spend quite a bit of time talking about that kind of stuff on each of my podcasts generally. But for the purpose of this video, just know that I do intend on releasing quite a few more of these before the end of the year, and they are being worked on in the background. But it might be a few weeks before you see a bunch of them. It might be December before you see a bunch of them, but I'm going to try to at least get the Seven Dust one completed in the next couple days, but beyond that, it's going to be a couple weeks before you guys see the next ones, because again, I'm really plugged into what's going on with this election. I'm really into politics and into data, polling, all that stuff. I've been thinking about for a while, I know this doesn't suit the algorithm, but to have a political playlist on my channel, but I think the JayDennis channel is mostly just meant to be about my music, my podcast, my media, me talking about music, shit like that. I tried to get into fitness for a while, like 4 years ago, but I'm not making a fitness channel, fuck that. So, just wanted to give you that, I guess you'd call it a channel update, because it's kind of what the channel is predominantly revolving around right now, is my opinions on music and discographies of artists that I really like listening to. The funny thing that I've noticed about some of these recent bands and artists that I've been doing is they're generally only artists and bands that I really like. So I rarely ever give a bunch of songs or even an album like less than like a 8 out of 10, because I'm really not going to listen to an artist or a band if I don't think they're great and do their whole discography. But I've been getting a little annoyed with myself and my rankings, because with Machine Head, Black Dahlia Murder, and now Seven Dust, it seems like I rarely ever give a song less than an 8. It's just like, am I overly generous with my rankings or my reviews? Or do I just really like these bands because they're super consistent? I think it's that. I think once I get back to some of these other old school bands like Slayer or Megadeth, even if I think they're legendary bands, I'm probably going to start to find more and more songs that I think are like God tier level, like 9 or a 10. I did notice that with Black Dahlia Murder and Machine Head. A lot of songs sing between an 8 and a 9. I haven't given a song a 10 since, like, I rarely ever give out a 10. It's super rare. And then beyond a 10 or beyond a 9 is rare too. I just think a lot of shit's great apparently. But anyway, wanted to give you that channel update. Predominantly going to be doing, of course, the podcast on a weekly or every other week basis, depending on how I feel. And with the ranked and reviewed videos, that's kind of like the major content I'm doing. The next video is probably going to be 7 Dust. I'm going to do their 12 albums, including their new one. But all the other ones, I'm probably going to put out another 3, 4, or 5 before the end of the year. I already know what bands I want to do. Again, I got Black Dahlia Murder done. Getting Machine Head about halfway done. Working on 7 Dust right now. But other bands that I'm currently working on are All That Remains, Slayer, so that's already 5. That's already 5 videos that I anticipate putting out before the end of the year. But of course, I do want to work on Megadeth. Megadeth will probably be a live video because I own at least half their albums. And then other bands I've been fucking around with are like As I Lay Dying. They have 6 albums and stuff like that. I like doing these types of videos so that you guys see where I came from, what I grew up with. I'm 29 years old, so I'm a child of the 90s, and I grew up in like high school and college during like the golden age of metalcore and like I guess post-hardcore leading into like the genty years of my early 20s and the new metal revival and then the rebirth of Raptor Riot. All these bands that I do have some level of importance to me, and it all started with Trivium. And then another thing, this is probably the last thing I say because this video is going to go on a little longer than I anticipated. I'm rambling now. The last thing I'm going to do, probably before the end of this year, is bands that I've recently ranked, but I didn't put their 2020 album in there. Deftones, I'm probably going to do not an album review, this isn't an album review channel, but I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Deftones' new album and say where I rank it in my Deftones ranking. And then same thing with Trivium. They put out an album this year, What the Dead Men Say. Trivium was the first band I ever did a ranked and reviewed on back in like, was it 2018? So they're due for a little bit of an update. 2020 has been a great year for music. A lot of awesome artists are putting out music this year. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Channel's kind of slow right now. Not really super active and doing YouTube even part-time. It's just when I have time to do it. I have a full-time career as a financial advisor. It doesn't look like it, but that's what I do. That's how I make my money. But YouTube, writing music, making videos, talking about music, writing music, lyrics, vocals, all that good shit, it's what brings me a lot of spiritual joy. So I want to thank you guys for, even if there's only like 100 or so of you watching every now and then, based on my subscriber count, I want to thank you for some of you being with me since 2013, some of you joining me recently. But the best case scenario would be I do put out content at least on a weekly basis because I fucking love doing this. So thank you for watching, and get ready to see some more stuff before the end of this year, including the next video most likely being a ranked and reviewed of 7 Dust's now 12 studio albums.